Eastwood students and families, good evening, and thank you for joining us. For those of you that don't know me, I am Mike Miller, principal of Eastwood School, and I am incredibly excited to get this school year started. So, on behalf of the Eastwood staff, we want to welcome you and thank you for joining our first ever virtual open house. Not exactly how we had hoped to be doing things at this point in this COVID pandemic, but here we are nonetheless. So, with that said, welcome, and we look forward to our time together over the next little bit here. Mrs. Wagner will be joining me in just a moment, but she and I together are going to take about 10 to 15 minutes of your time to talk about and introduce you to some topics that we feel will be of value to you as you and your students return to us come Monday. So, like I said, in the next 15 minutes, we're going to cover some arrival and dismissal procedures. We'll cover building entry. We'll talk about safety protocols and so on, and just kind of give you a sense of what to expect. And we're going to try and do a quick little tour of the building, especially for those third graders who are just joining us who didn't get that opportunity to do so last year unless they had siblings in the building prior. So, with that said, I am going to kick it out to Mrs. Wagner, and she's going to get us started.
Hey, thanks, Mr. Miller. I'm outside right here. This is where it's all going to happen. I can hardly wait. Arrival time. Our first day of school is August 24th, and we have a half day of school. And I want to talk about how we're doing arrival and how it might look a little bit different this year. It sure looks empty right now. For those who are new to us, this is our parent pickup lot. As you come through, we'll have 2 lanes of traffic that are driving through, dropping students off. If you take a look off to the side, there is a place to park as well if you need to drop off medication or just want to assist your child in getting out. Rest assured, we're going to have lots of staff here waiting and super excited to help you as you're going through the drop-off process. After our students are dropped off, there's going to be plenty of people and plenty of signs to show you how we're using our entrances. This year, we're asking all parents to use that upper parking lot that I mentioned. We have 3 entrances into our building, and as I move closer, you'll see the yellow ones are marked with yellow balloons. Parents, you'll be able to wave goodbye and see where our yellow balloons are. Your child will walk down the sidewalk that'll lead them for third graders to our first entrance, the third grade doors. This is where our third graders will turn off and walk down the hallway to walk down to their teachers. Our teachers will be in the hallway with their masks on, ready to help welcome them. After our third graders enter the building, we're going to have our 4th and 5th graders continue down the sidewalk and make the next right for our 4th graders. You can kind of see in the background our 4th grade red balloons marking where our 4th graders should go in. Just like 3rd graders, they should have their masks up before they come into the building. Here, a couple other things just to let parents know. First, we want to let everybody know that for health and safety reasons, that we are going to have our playground closed before and after school. So instead of going to the playground, that will be off limits. In the morning before school and after school, we'll go right into the building. Additionally, we're going to ask students that they won't be stopping at lockers, but go right into their classroom, and then their teacher will kind of share with them what the new protocol will be for going to the lockers. The last thing we'd like to ask parents is that whenever possible, if you could stay in your car and then drop your students off. If you need to park to drop off medication or anything, you can park in that upper lot that we were at just a couple minutes ago, because the lots on the other side of our building, and I'm going to go ahead and turn just past our flagpole, our staff parking lot will be closed a half an hour before school starts and a half an hour after school starts, just to have, again, to stay healthy and safe and make sure we have one-way traffic going on. And we really appreciate all your help with this. Last but not least are our 5th graders. 5th graders, you're going to make it all the way to our main entrance. It'll be marked with some blue balloons. And again, as you come to the doors, there'll be adults there ready to help you, just like the other entrances. So if you go ahead and take your masks, and I'm going to head inside now myself, pull your mask up before heading into class. We can't wait to see you. Over to you, Mr. Miller.
Thanks, Mrs. Wagner, for that helpful information. So, just for you third graders, I have slid out of my office and I am down at the outside entrance of the third grade wing, next to where the yellow blooms are that Mrs. Wagner pointed out to you. Okay? I'm going to take you on a quick little tour so that you have an idea of what the building looks like and what you can expect to see as you enter the building for the first time, since you didn't get to visit here as a second grader unless you had siblings. Okay? So I'm going to take you on a quick tour, but you'll hear from your teachers, before we enter the building, we do have to mask up. So I'm going to slide my mask on, and you'll get an idea of what I will look like in my mask when I'm supporting in the morning along with all of our other support staff. So here we go. As we slide inside the doors, you'll notice that you look down the hallway and you'll notice the roof lines are all yellow. Okay, so that first of all is going to be how you know you're in the right place as a third grader. Okay, now, if you look, the first classroom we come to is that of Mrs. Pagels. The second classroom right next door is that of Mrs. Byler. So if you have those two as your teachers, you are lucky enough to be right inside the door. You'll be in your classroom. Now, as we continue down the hallway, the next room we'll come to is Mrs. Sandberg's classroom. And you can see her name tag above the door. And then we continue on, and we get to Mrs. Stark's classroom. And then down in the corner, we have Mrs. Ortman's classroom. And as we turn the corner, we then come across Mrs. Hahn's classroom and Mrs. Ambery's classroom. So we're going to slide in here and just take a quick peek. And there you have it. That is what our typical third grade classroom looks like. So Mrs. Ambery is not here right now, but we wanted to give you a quick glimpse at what that might look like and what you can expect to see when you enter. Let's continue on. We've got a couple of more classes that we'll encounter. So we have our ESL room is next. And then, last but not least, we have Mrs. Johansson's classroom at the end of the third grade hallway. Okay? So, when you arrive to Mrs. Johansson's classroom, you'll know that that is the end. And if you go beyond that, you've gone too far as we start up the first day. Students, I guarantee within the first week of school, you will have a great understanding of the layout of our building, and you'll be able to find your way around because your teachers will guide you and help you do that. But in addition, you'll be able to guide your parents around too. So with that, I am going to take just a quick second and get back to my office to meet up with Mrs. Wagner, and we will round out our time together. And we're back. Thanks for sticking with us, and together we'll round things out now prior to you joining your teachers in the virtual setting as you enjoy virtual open house and hopefully get some additional questions answered along the way. With that said, parents, families, we want to close out with just a couple of last bits of information. First of all, on the first couple days, at least during the phase 4 that we're in right now, we are asking, and we do have to abide by the fact that we cannot have visitors within the building. That does not mean that you can't come into the office. In fact, if you have things to drop off or if you have a need, certainly you can check into the office and we can interact with you there. We do ask that we keep the stay short. But with that in mind, what we can't do is have volunteers in the classrooms or different things that way, okay? Now, on the first day of school, we recognize that sometimes there are a lot of things to drop off, including medication and different things like that. For that purpose, we are going to have Mrs. Andrews, one of our 2 secretaries, out under a tent outdoors near the parent pickup lot on the first day of school, and she will be able to assist you there by accepting medications, medical forms, different things that you may need to turn over to her or to us, and we're going to try and make that as convenient as possible without having to have an abundance of traffic within the building. Okay? In addition, one thing that we also want to make you aware of is oftentimes on the first days of school or throughout the first week, we have parents that encourage siblings to connect with one another, rightfully so. So with that in mind, though, we are going to encourage you to have siblings connect outdoors, okay? They will not be able to go from, let's say, the 3rd grade wing down to the 5th grade wing or vice versa to connect indoors. We will be ushering them out the same doors that they enter in the building or in the morning, and at that time they can then connect outside. So if you're planning on that, please talk with your children and make sure that they have a location where they can meet up. Okay? Mrs. Wagner, what am I forgetting? Anything?
Oh my goodness.
We covered a lot.
Yes, yes. We're looking forward to what's going on. How can they communicate with us?
Yeah,
What's the
good
best way to
point.
get a hold
Good
of
point.
us?
So, to communicate with us, obviously, again, if you need to stop in the office, you certainly can do that. If you want to call us, you're welcome to do that as well. Our number here at school is 269-659-1560. Or you are also welcome to email us or access us through our website, whatever you prefer. So my email address is mi, as in Mike, followed by Miller, Miller, at sturgisps.org.
And mine is K Wegner, Wegner, at sturgisps.org.
We look forward to seeing you on August 24th, which is our first day of school. Doors will open and drop-off can begin at 8:30. Students will actually begin class at 8:55, but when they're dropped off, they will go right directly into the building. Our playground will be closed, as Mrs. Wagner talked about earlier, both before and after school. And teachers will be in their classrooms at 8:30 ready to receive students. The school day will officially begin at 8:55, so they are not late up until that time. Breakfast will be served on the first morning and continue thereafter. Okay? So without further ado, we are going to release you to join your virtual classrooms. And the best way to access that is to click on the link that we've posted on Facebook, or visit our Sturgis Public Schools webpage, which is sturgisps.org. And when you arrive at that webpage, you'll scroll down to where you see SPS News, and the first heading underneath that is Open House. If you click on that link, it'll take you to a new page, and on that page it says, click here, and you'll see a great big long list of all the teachers within the district by school, and there you'll be able to see their introductory videos along with the link to their Google Meet, which is where you will be able to meet with them virtually within their Google Classroom. Okay? So, thank you again for joining us. We hope that you found this to be informational and beneficial. We look forward to starting the year with you, and we wish you all the best as you go over to join the virtual meet in your classrooms. Take care.
Take care.